morning, good morning. Today, Sunday school. Peter takes a risk. Our Bible basis is Acts 10, verses 24 through 38. It's good to be here another Sunday in Sunday school. We're in Unit 2. It's about the internal growth of the church. Now, internal, how the church just comes together. People are coming into church, the Christian church. A Christian community is now coming alive after Jesus' ascension, after the day of Pentecost. And now we need to be taught as the church what Jesus taught, review it. Jesus loved everybody. And that's something that's a concept that Peter is going to talk to the people. Peter's recognition that God shows no partiality allowed him to tell the good news to the Gentiles. We can't preach what we don't practice. Peter was a Jew, and the Lord came to the Jews. Abraham was a Jew back in Genesis. And the Lord, they are God's chosen people. Well, Peter had to let that go. After Christ went to the cross, he died for everybody, for our sins. And Lord, that we may be redeemed. He rose from the grave, and that we may be a part, have a part in the resurrection from the judgment that is to come. We don't know when, but it's coming. And we just thank God. So Peter, the Lord dealt with Peter and said, now it's not just to the Jews, this great gospel of Jesus Christ, his work on the cross, his death and his burial, his resurrection is for everybody who will believe. Peter was lodging in the home of Simon the tanner. That means Simon was a tanner, and he dealt with leather goods. So Peter was there, and the lesson is the home of Cornelius, his friends and his relatives, full of his friends and his relatives. So our main characters are Peter, Simon the tanner, where Peter stayed, and the home of Cornelius. Many congregation started out in a prayer meeting in somebody's home. And the people would come, and it got so too big for the house, they needed a place of worship. And that's where a lot of churches started. We're going to read Acts 10, 24 through 38. But first, a little light on the lesson. Caesarea is known as Caesarea of the Sea, or Caesarea Augustus. That is the place where the story takes place, where the story occurs today. It was a port city located 25 miles from Tel Aviv, which exists over in Israel even as we speak, where the Mediterranean Sea meets the land, the easternmost part. The western Mediterranean goes out into the Atlantic Ocean. But this is the part of the sea that hits the land, and that's at Tel Aviv. The city was built by Herod the Great sometime between 22 and 10 before Christ, from 22 years or up to 10 years before Christ. It was very beautiful with marble structures. Well, it was a seaport. It was a rich city. That's where cargo came and people came. Tanner is a job which was to clean and prepare animal hides to be used as leather. It's considered an undesirable job. So Simon the tanner was kind of looked down on in town. To undesirable job to the sights and smells that it gave off. Tanners were considered ceremonially unclean by the Jews. And we see where Peter is preaching. The Lord dealt with Peter in a vision. We'll read it. And had to get Peter straight. Now, before I can go out and witness, I have to be straight myself. I have to believe what I'm talking about. And Peter had to tell the folk, well, the great gospel. Christ has gone to be back with the Father. If we believe that, then we cannot be racist, prejudiced, look down on anybody who's a human just like us. Acts 10 and 24. And the morrow after they entered into Caesarea, and Cornelius waited for them, and he had called together his kinsmen and his near friends. House full of folks. Come, we're going to hear something today. 25 through 38. 25, and as Acts 10 and 25. And as Peter was coming in, Cornelius met him and fell down at his feet and worshiped him. But Peter took him up. Stand up. I myself am but a man. Don't worship man. We must worship Christ and God the Father. Peter enters into Caesarea after Cornelius, and Peter was accompanied by some disciples from Joppa. And it would prove valuable as they would be eyewitnesses to what was happening during Peter's preaching. Cornelius, seeing how grave and important of the occasion, invites his friends and relatives. And Cornelius is struck with awe at Peter's visit. Peter had to correct him, you know. And he believed that Peter to be a servant of Jesus and able to impart salvation. Who imparts salvation? Jesus. And Peter let him know, I'm not a divine. That's Jesus Christ, God's Son. Peter refuses to let somebody worship him, and so should we. And tells him to stand up because he was not a God, but a man. Sometimes people have such great confidence in the people of the Lord, and they listen to what we have to say, and then they believe what we say. But we're not the one to worship. God is the one to worship. Peter speaks to Cornelius' guest. So he goes in Cornelius' home, and he is aware that Cornelius has invited the people. He explains his decision to accept Cornelius' invitation. He alludes to the vision he saw. Now, God worked a vision with Cornelius. I'm sorry, he at Cornelius' house, he worked a vision with Peter. The Lord showed Peter some things that the vision that he saw, sharing that he now understands that he is no longer, he now understands that he should not look upon Gentiles, that's non-Jews, as unclean and impure. And Cornelius had the vision along the same lines that Peter had. Consider how Peter was a devout Jew, and he told them that he would no longer consider them impure because they are not Jewish like him. And Cornelius had the vision and had a vision from God that showed him that he's not impure because he's not a Jew. All souls belong to God. Praise his sweet name. Sometimes the Lord have to come to us in a mighty way. So these two men had visions for themselves to let them know that God is to be worshiped in spirit and in truth, and no man is so unclean that he cannot be saved, that he cannot come to the Lord and believe the great gospel of Jesus Christ, died on the cross, buried and rose again. That's the gospel, the work on the cross. And we can believe that, and it's for everybody. Red and yellow, black and white. We are precious in God's sight. He made us all, and he loves us all. And as he talked with him, as Peter talked with Cornelius, he went in and found the people, saw the people. And he said to them, ye know how that it is it's an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company. Yeah, as custom, Peter being a Jew, now this is as custom. Being a Jew, he wasn't even supposed to be in a Gentile's house, a non-Jew and a tanner, dealing with leather. See, but I'm sorry, Peter heard from the Lord in a vision. And he said, Peter, you go preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. You a Jew. To the Jew first, then to the Gentiles, all the non-Jews. God has showed me that I should not call, this is Peter, I should not call any man common or unclean. So, and he came to see them. As soon as Cornelius said, Peter, we need you. Please come and preach that great gospel to us. And Peter came to the tanner's house, to the Gentiles' house, a non-Jew's home. And Peter's bearing witness how he had a vision and God dealt with him. Peter talks to Cornelius, and when he sees all the people gathered together, God has revealed him to him. He reminds them his presence there is unlawful under the old law, contrary to accepted morality or social convention, but that's done with in the Jewish context. You see, but Peter states that he has been changed, and now he must join together with Jews, non-Jews, which are Gentiles, and enter into their home. Peter explains that not only is it possible for them to have fellowship together, the old rule, and they found fault with Jesus for dealing with non-Jews. Yeah, but now Peter says that's all over with. Now I am the one to bring you to the knowledge of Jesus Christ. So I had to get myself together, Peter said, and the Lord showed him in a vision. God has even told Peter that he should no longer think of anyone or anything as and he showed him he should not call any man common or unclean. Mm-hmm. The example is the vision Peter receives. This vision is the basis for Peter giving God to Cornelius' house. All the vision, and the Lord led him to Gentiles' home. Verses 30 through 33. And Cornelius said, 4 days ago I was fasting until this hour. And at the ninth hour I prayed in my house. And behold, a man, an angel of God, stood before me in bright clothing. Now Cornelius, a Gentile, is telling his vision. And this angel said to Cornelius, thy prayer is heard. Yes, I will send Peter to you. We are sending, God himself is sending Peter to you and to your household. And you have supported the church and are in remembrance in the sight of God. Send to Joppa hither Simon, whose surname is Peter. Send to Joppa and ask for Peter. Now Peter came because of the vision, and Cornelius sent to Joppa for Peter because of the vision. The Lord. He is at the house of Tanner by the sea. Immediately, therefore, I for thee, Cornelius, talking to Peter. After Peter told him, if you need, I'm not God, me. They continue with their conversation, and the visions are testified to. And so, this is saying, immediately I sent to thee with angel, and thou hast done well, you have come. Now, therefore, we are all here present before God to hear all things that are commanded of God. So we just thank the Lord. Cornelius happened to be, well, Cornelius was the name of a Roman centurion as well, a captain of the all. Centurion means 100. He had control over 100 men. A Roman centurion would command 80 men. And he was to be God. God bless him to be God. This one, that's his house. A man has a congregation of folk at his house. So there's the of a Jew going to the home of a child, forbidden the law. Now Christ has come. It's all right. Christ came to save us all. God was doomed and was the neediest people, his friends and relatives. And Simon the Tanner, whose home Peter was staying. Then Peter, his said of a truth, I see that God is no respecter of persons. Whatever your job may be, a dirty job, undesirable job, a garbage and a tanner like Simon, God is free to participate in your negotiation that way. And our church.net. You can text capital M, capital P, T, U, R, C, T, church, all in caps, 77977. Or Pentecostal 0043 Parkwood Street, Inkster, Michigan, 411.